hard to see from the moment we arrived. Cornelia, you are one who will survive. When time's been bad, you put smiles on everyone. Think of you and of all I should have done.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a small little mini makeover that I did recently to our living room, and I feel like now we have a nice blank slate so we can really get ready for Christmas here in a couple weeks. So I'm so excited about that and excited to share some of the changes that we've made in there. Also, I worked on a little furniture project this past week, and let's just say it was challenging to say the least. But anyway, I got through it. I'm glad it's finished, but I can't wait to share that with you all because the results were really good, so it was worth the work. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video and we will go ahead and get started. Back when we bought our house several years ago, there were several pieces of furniture just kind of left here, came with the property, and I've been able to use most of those pieces throughout different areas of our home. These end tables were part of what was left here, and I loved them right away. I loved the shape and the size and the detail. Something I didn't love about them was they were more of like that orangey kind of wood with more of like a varnish finish on them, so I didn't love that. At the time, this was about probably around 2014, somewhere in there, I was just really painting everything. I painted all of our furniture either white or blue. I was really into that kind of trendy farmhouse look, and I did that for a long time and loved them. But now I am a lot more drawn to wood tones and just kind of keeping things more natural in our home. And so I thought, for part of this little mini makeover, I would strip these end tables back down to their original state, try to sand off some of that varnish and give them a fresh new look for this mini living room makeover. You say that I'm crazy. I will say that this was a much more time-consuming project than I thought it would be when I first started. Overall, it took me probably 3 to 4 days, I believe, to finish this. I worked on them off and on just as I had the time, and of course the stripper that I used had to sit on there for a couple hours, and so I just worked on it a little bit at a time for those days, and now that it's said and done, I'm glad I did it. It's probably not something I want to do again in the future anytime soon, just because it was so tedious and, like I said, very time consuming. But I'm really glad I did it. Completely changed the look of the tables, and it was worth the work in the end. As you can see here, this is what I meant by very time consuming, because even after the paint was dissolved from the stripper, you had to still go ahead and like scrape off every little bit of it. After this, I also used some steel wool to give it a good scrub down to get any kind of paint that was left behind. Even though I did all those steps, there was still some paint that I couldn't quite get to. I decided to just leave it. Kind of adds to the character. And so I feel like now, instead of having that orangey kind of varnish 1960s look, now we have more of a rustic kind of a classic farmhouse look. They definitely did not turn out perfect, but I kind of like that about them. There are some imperfections and flaws for sure, but the end result is something that I feel like suits our house and kind of the style we're going with right now a lot better than the painted look. Here is the finished look. You all can let me know what you think about them. Like I said, definitely not perfect, but I kind of like that. I think they look like actual antique tables now instead of just dated tables. So let me know what you think, but I really like how they complement the existing woodwork in the house and definitely warmed things up here in our living room. Now for the tour of our mini living room makeover. I was prompted to make some changes in here this week after my husband got a new recliner, so I can't wait to share that with you. Definitely changed the look of our living room and inspired me to, like I said, make some additional changes. I also have been in the process of sort of quieting our home. I first heard of that concept from the Nester. I'm sure you've heard of her and maybe read her books too, but it's just the idea of really simplifying your spaces, bringing them down to that blank slate, kind of living with it like that for a while until you decide what you want to do and how you want to move forward with decorating. It's kind of just like letting your space breathe a bit before moving on to the next thing. And so for me, I love to do this when I'm in between fall and Christmas decorating. As you can see, I have definitely simplified in here. I've removed most of the fall decorations I had, with the exception of a few florals and a few faux pumpkins I left behind, only because we are going to be hosting a Thanksgiving dinner here at our house soon, and so I wanted to have a little bit of fall, but definitely getting ready to make that transition to Christmas. Another thing I did was just simplify tabletops and clutter mostly. I opted for just a simple centerpiece here on the coffee table. The end tables are left just plain. That way people have plenty of space to set down drinks and plates on Thanksgiving. I want everything to feel comfortable and very casual so everyone just feels at home. Another change I made is I moved this dresser underneath our TV in place of the open shelving we had before. I just feel like this is a much more simple look. I didn't have to accessorize as much and find things to fill up the shelving. Also, not having to dust as much, so that's always a plus. Technically, it's a little small for the space, but it's what I had to work with, and I feel like it's fine because the dresser kind of blends in with the wall color. Since I had removed so much from the room, it felt overly neutral in this space, so I decided to add back a little bit of color by bringing back out the barn painting. I've had it for years, and it's just something that, I rotate in and out with our decor. I think it's a nice pop of color for this time of year. It's officially wood stove season here in our home, and we always get excited those first few fires of this season. As you can see, our wood stove has already been in use the last few weeks. We went ahead and brought down our wood rack and started filling it with wood. Just the look of this, I feel like, is cozy and just gets me excited for winter and especially Christmas decorating. But that's another change that you'll see in the space.
Keeps missing, the clouds seem to fade.
I also decided to go ahead and start simplifying the bookshelves as well. I did leave out a few fall florals and some faux pumpkins just to get us through Thanksgiving, and then I will finish decluttering for Christmas, but definitely a much more simple look than what I had going on for fall.
Without a sound, in my little world, you are both pros and cons. It's hard to.
That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm definitely enjoying this more simplified look in our home as we get ready to transition to Christmas decorating, which is coming soon. We get a real tree, so we have to decorate a little bit later than a lot of other people do, but nevertheless, I'm excited. But thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Bye.